Welcome to the Patriots Window, where I give my own opinion about things that just does not seem right. So here lately, the new subject is about President Biden and the debate that him and Trump had, and how that Biden just stumbled all over the place. He he behaved the way that we had been seeing him do when he would do conferences and um, going and visiting places and things. We've seen him multiple times start to go off stage, to go direction, having to be redirected. We've seen him, we have seen him multiple times get distracted and go do something else other than addressing the uh, people that's gathered to the hearing. We have seen multiple times where he has tripped and fell. We already know that he is in a health decline. And it is hard to see any one person like that. Now, me being a Christian, I've got a heart about it. I don't like what him and the administration is doing. I'm completely against the things that they're doing, especially with inflation and shaking hands with the enemy and everything. But I don't want to see anybody being ill. I don't want to see anybody suffering or being abused or used or whatever. Now, I have read on X, formerly known as Twitter, where Obama had put in his 2 pennies, saying that it was just a bad debate, that he has had bad debates and he knows how that is, and that he spoke the truth and Trump lied and yada 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 yada. You know, he was taking up for Biden. But we also have to remember that Biden was Obama's right hand man. Those two held hands all during the presidency of Obama. And I know that there had been rumors that Obama had wanted to have a third term. And of course, the regulations and rules do not allow one man to have 3 terms. Well, what better way to do it than to have his right hand man serve in the office? But I am very sure that Obama knew from the start that Mr. Biden was having health issues. I mean, even when him and Trump was debating for the 2020 election, we could see that there was some inconsistencies with Biden's behavior. So, um, anybody who is weak minded like that can easily be used as a puppet. And I seriously believe with all my heart that Biden is being used as a puppet. Now, I read the comments on Obama's post on X, and many had said basically the same thing that I was considering, because earlier this year I had considered the possibility that Obama was still getting his way, that Obama was getting to have his input and in a lot of ways still running the country. Because, you know, him and Mrs. Obama hasn't necessarily disappeared into the limelight. For some reason, they're still kind of in there, you know? And so a lot of people who commented said that basically saying your puppet is done. He's done in. He's done for. and therefore you don't get your fourth term. And I got thinking about that really because, like I said, I had considered many times that there was the strong possibility that Obama, in some ways, was getting Mr. Biden to do these certain things, like shake hands with the enemy. And for those of you who know, I'm not talking about those of you who may be leaning left or in the rope segment or anything like that. I'm talking about those of you who really have thought things through and feel it in your heart. Mr. Obama had the agenda to destroy the United States. Why? I can't quite figure it out. But it was made very clear when the people ended up being separated according to race and according to class, and it seemed to me like Obama had his head set to make America just as low as the next country. And so with Mr. Biden doing what he's doing right now, working with Ukraine and giving so many millions out to them during this war between them and Russia, and like helping them relieve the war effort and everything, like, and then illegals crossing the border and them getting all these handouts, phones, monthly benefits, health benefits, money benefits, housing, and everything, giving the free reign of the United States without going through proper channels to become a part of the United States. And it's just, it's somewhat, me personally, I feel like it's an invasion of our freedom, of our privacy, of the God-given right through our founding fathers to be able to relax on our back porch, so to speak. But with Biden becoming less and less mental in his faculties, it's seeming more and more like people that's behind him is having to step up and do more of the work. I understand now that he's only got a certain window during the day, that they tried to exercise him and they tried to teach him some new things that needs to be said or done in his office. And other than that, the rest of his time is spent sleeping or having a nap. That sounds to me more like somebody that's in a nursing home. And I understand that, like, now his son Hunter is accompanying him wherever he goes, and that Jill Biden is encouraging him to keep going, that he's doing great, he's doing awesome, he's doing a perfect job, And Obama seems like he's one way or the other about it. He knows that his right-hand man is dying, and I sense that he is. But on the other hand, he wants to continue being able to use him without actually it being known that he's the one that's pulling the strings. So, if there's been talk that there's the possibility that Biden will step down, but now if Biden steps down, that means that Kamala Harris will become the president. And we're halfway in the year. There's only 6 months. There's actually 5 months to go in this nightmare that we're living in right now. And even though I don't agree with what Mr. Biden is doing, I don't want Kamala in there. And I know that on the sidelines, when she's in conference and everything, all she does is cackle. But who knows what she would do once she got up to the big desk, right? And I don't want Kamala to be in. I don't want Biden to be in either. But I sure don't want Kamala in. Now, I have said many a times that it would be great for Trump to be president, but I would be happy for anyone to be in the office who will serve us the way that we need to be served. To run America like a business and do it for the better so that our economy comes down, so that we can afford to live, and that we are protected rather than being one big giant open gate for people to run in and commit crimes against us. And for us to be kind to our neighboring countries if they absolutely need assistance, but not to just hand it to them on a platter. I mean, it's a great thing. One thing that had completely blessed the United States in the early years when the States was first founded was because we helped our fellow country by protecting them when they were at war. That's the reason why there was World War I and World War II, because all these countries coming against each other, and then America jumps in and they defend the friend and help to defeat the foe, you know. And so that's what I want. I want a president who's going to serve this nation and definitely being the chief, you know, that they make good decisions that will prosper us, that will continue to give us that freedom that we fought for so many times since the start of the United States. And that they're proud to be in America, to be an American, and not turn around and take our country and sabotage it for the enemy. Do I think that Biden should finish? If it would keep Kamala Harris from being president, yes. Do I think he should be reelected? No. And not just because of his policies and what he's been doing, but also for his health. I truly believe that because he is going downhill physically, he needs to go on ahead and at least try to make it to the end of the year and then just quietly step down. Don't try for another term and go home and rest. I just don't see Kamala Harris being a good president for the states. I just don't. Now, I have heard that she is running better than Trump, but I don't know. There are still so many mixed bags over Trump. A lot of people believes that because he had been in trial over so many accusations that he is definitely a felon, and that he isn't right to run the country, that he'll destroy the country. But what I saw in his first term, he had improved so many things. And the biggest thing of all was that he recognized Israel. And that is what would move the United States forward, for us not to put Israel down, but for us to recognize her and protect her, to support her in prayer, because she is still God's chosen nation. And so God said plainly in his word that whoever blesses Israel is truly blessed. We don't need a president in office who is going to turn around and turn their back on Israel. Obama did. Obama hated Israel, and he kept his back to her. I support Israel because she is God's nation. I support her. And I know that even in the biblical times, she kept disobeying God. She kept going against God. She kept going to worship other gods and things. And God kept getting angry at her. But he continued saying that he loved her. He continued saying that she was still his chosen nation. And so I bless Israel, regardless of the fact that they don't believe that Christ has come yet as the Messiah to die on the cross. I support Israel despite of the fact of them turning to other gods, little g, because God still loves this nation. And in the end, the word says in the end, Israel will turn to him. They will know him as Lord and God. And he will be able to take them in because they will finally honor and acknowledge him. So, I'm not turning my back on Israel. And any president who gets into the office, I believe, needs to support Israel as well. That's the only true way that the United States will be honestly blessed, along with the president and his administration not being greedy. And that's another thing. The Democrats and even some of the Republicans here lately, they're like turning their backs on the Constitution that they originally stood on. And they're acting more like the Democrats. And there is so much hunger for power and greed and selfishness. Yes, I'm saying this. I'm saying it because I have seen it. If they were for the right of the nation, there wouldn't be so much evil going on. There wouldn't be all this allowance of the illegals coming in without going through proper channels and then being exonerated for a crime they commit, whereas a complete innocent being charged guilty. It's like the guy who killed that young lady that was jogging. I don't remember what state it was in, but he caught her and killed her. Biden excused him. He excused him, saying not to call him a criminal. What Well, what about the victims' parents and relatives? What about them? And how much their heart broke? And what about the fact that they possibly got angry and maybe started hating Mr. Biden because he had let the criminal go who had killed their daughter? If a foreigner wants to come into the United States, then let them come in and go through the proper channels. I know that it takes time to become a registered citizen, but at least it's being done right. Instead of just somehow or another washing up on the shore from the ocean and just walking right on in like there's a welcome mat. We are all aliens on the United States, okay? We all are. The true occupants were the Native Americans, or as Christopher Columbus called them, the Indians. They were the natives of this soil. We are all of the descendants of illegals or of the aliens. So none of us, unless we absolutely swear, and I'm not talking about cuss words, but swear or are born onto this soil, no one has a right to have occupancy on this land without the proper channels. No one does. No one does. I just want to see it done right. I don't care who gets in, as long as they do it right. And I think the biggest important thing to be done for the United States is for there to be a president who would pray daily for the behalf of the United States, and that God guides him and his administration in their endeavors to take care of this nation. That's what I think is the most important. We don't need any more presidents coming in haphazardly doing their job. Maybe in some cases protecting some, and in other cases just completely looking the other way. We don't need that. We don't need to shake hands with the enemies. We don't need to give money to the enemies. We don't need to have any reason or give reason for the enemy to decide to use us as a target either. Now, I can understand if a president wants to go on ahead and talk to the president or prime minister of the enemy country and plead for the case of the United States so that she will continue to be protected, but not to turn around and shake hands with them and make an agreement. Yeah, I'll give you half of the blood from the country. You know, there are ways to make peace with the enemy without giving blood. Things are a shambles right now, but I still think it'd be better for Biden to finish his term and not even give Kamala Harris a chance to become president. But that is my own opinion. That's what I think about it. I feel sorry for Mr. Biden that he is declining in health. my partner, his grandmother suffered dementia, and his mom had a hard time dealing with her while she was continuing to drop in health. And in the end, she was able to remember her family. And that was her wish, that she would pass away before she forgot her family. And she died of heart failure. But she got to recognize her family before she passed away. With Biden, I don't know how it's going to go for him, but I do know that it's not looking good for the man. And I truly do have a heart about that. I don't want anybody to be sick, as I said. I know that Mr. Biden isn't going to get better. And the only other thing that I can do is pray that he comes to know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior before he takes his last breath, as I do with him and the entire Democratic and anybody else that's in the administration, Republicans, Democrats alike, conservatives, liberals alike. I pray that all comes to know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, because the majority of the Democrats are really on their last leg of their journey. And so with all the evil that has been survived by their actions, I think that it is coming down to the wire with them. And so far, it looks like hell. But I do pray that they come to know Lord and Jesus, to know Lord Jesus Christ as their Savior before they take their last breath. I do. Anyway, that's my opinion about all this. And go on ahead and share what you think about it. If you think Biden should go on ahead and drop out during this last bit of the term and let his vice president take over, or if he should go on ahead and finish it out. I know that by now everybody, even those that had been on Biden's side, everybody now knows that Biden is in extreme poor health. Oh, and they had said that like he had went and visited one place and another and such, and then he came to do the debate, and that was the reason why that he was so exhausted and couldn't do the debate right. But the way I see that, that's just a sure sign right there that I don't think he could handle another term. If he becomes so exhausted from doing multiple things only to go do something else and he just can't pull it off, that just simply says how much of poor health he's in. That's the way I see it. Anyway, like I said, go on ahead and share with me in the comments below what you think Mr. Biden should do. Drop out, let Kamala finish the term, or hold on as good as he can and finish it out. Please give a thumbs up and share this content. And I would love for you to follow my Patriots window. I do not give my opinion very often at all, I promise. But sometimes I do, and I would love for you to be able to catch me when I do, if you would. uh, I don't know when I'll be doing the next one, but until then, see you.